All week long, Hawaii News Now has been sharing the story of Kaho'olawe's restoration, a mission led by the Protect Kaho'olawe ʻOhana, and it's all part of an Aloha Aina movement that spanned generations with no signs of slowing down. Kaho'olawe at dawn. The rising sun welcomed by the sound of ʻEalaʻe, an oli composed for the island by revered kumu hula Pualani Kanakaʻole. She, her late sister Nalani, and mother Edith crafted many of the cultural protocols practiced by the Protect Kaho'olawe ʻOhana. The ceremonies honoring the land are at the heart of the PKO's identity.
The kupuna came and kahuna as well, mandated that we have ceremony. Brought ho'okupu, brought pua'a and other things, ava and those things, and offered that to the Aina to acknowledge the kapu of this place, this island Kaho'olawe, that is named not only Kaho'olawe but also Kanaloa, and Kanaloa is one of our 4 major deities.
When they say, well, this is here, somebody say it's a workshop. I say, no, since we get grindstone inside here, most time kahuna, they go to the hill, prepare medicine.
That spiritual reverence is woven into the ʻOhana's hands-on restoration, and it's the blueprint for its future. To mark its 50th anniversary, the PKO unveiled principles for a coming year of celebration. La'a, ma'a, pa'a.
Sanctify, revitalize, and perpetuate. 2026 will be a year of celebration and activation for all those who live in Hawaii to recommit and rededicate ourselves to Aloha Aina, air, and the protection and rehabilitation of Hawaiian lands from military and other destruction. When Kanaloa flourishes, we thrive.
We make sacred our relationship to the Aina and the kupuna who dwell within it, and then we become accustomed to being subservient to this higher sacred being that is the Aina. And we find that when we aloha the Aina in this way with such reverence, we become pa'a, we become solidified, we become sustained, we become satiated.
Yola Kanaloa, Yola Kako, Yola Kanaloa, Yola Kako, Yola Kanaloa, Yola Kako. Haniko.
A call to action for Kaho'olawe's next wave of protectors to recommit themselves to stewardship of the land, a lifelong kuleana.
We first brought our kids when they're like 1.5. Changing diapers in the red dirt is what we're doing. They remember those kind of unique experiences that only Aina can give you. Restoration of Aina is not done in just in the generation time. One generation, multiple generations. So we commit ourselves as our ʻOhana chalk to bringing our keiki to Kaho'olawe, to knowing all they can about what it means to have connection to Aina and Malama Aina from a very young age.
How much kuleana do I feel? My son's name comes from the ceremonies. His name is Kaipula Makani Oloni. So before he was born, he was committed to carrying on. That's the kind of sacrifice that we make.
Sacrifice and unwavering devotion that's already spanned over half a century, laying a foundation for the next 50 years.
I couldn't help but think that, there very soon could be a time when we could come to this island without military escort.
They say the Aloha spirit is this and that with a plastic leg. We want to change all those things. We want to say that Hawaii is more than just a feather cloak. There are some spiritual things that Hawaiians have.
As Hawaiians, we're going to need to galvanize ourselves again. And I'm glad that we can use Kaho'olawe as an example to bring everybody back together and remind everybody that aloha aina is something that we need to understand and do for our future generations.
We all have this incredible debt, this obligation to reciprocate, to make good on their lives, because their lives are only going to mean something if we do something to make it meaningful. Yes, we are living their dream, but their dream's not going to last if we don't keep it alive. And there's so much work to do to keep it alive.
Together in one thought, for the righteousness of the land.
And a huge thank you to photojournalist Corbin Gregory for his hard work going above and beyond in putting these pieces together. And mahalo nui to the Protect Kaho'olawe ʻOhana for welcoming us, sharing their story. If you'd like to volunteer or learn more about the ʻOhana, we have a link up on our website. You can also catch the entire 5-part series on HawaiiNewsNow.com. We'll be right back.